Your body has inbuilt resources for calm. Powerful physiological and psychological release mechanisms that bring calm and relaxation. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to use your body's natural calming abilities to stabilize anxiety. I've got 2 go-to self-help tools that can really help you know how to respond when you experience anxiety. My name's Naomi Light. I'm a life coach and I also struggle with anxiety myself. So many of the things that I talk about in this video and in my other coaching tools are things that I've had to use for myself to deal with anxiety or are part of my own mental wellness regime. So let's talk about anxiety, what it's like, how it feels, what can trigger anxiety and what you can do to get a handle on being able to self-soothe and calm your body down. So if you are an anxiety sufferer, then you will know very well some of the symptoms that are associated with anxiety. Here are some here and some more here. The range of symptoms and associated behaviours is really quite wide. They can be mental, physiological, psychological, emotional and behavioural. If well-developed patterns of anxiety go on for too long, they can actually become anxiety disorders. And usually anxiety disorders need treating by medication. And you will need to see a doctor who can refer you to the relevant health services if you have chronic anxiety. This video is for people who want to treat anxiety at home and want self-help tools and techniques. A rule of thumb that I use is that if you recognise 5 or more symptoms on a list of anxiety causes and behaviours, or if you've had these symptoms for more than 2 weeks, then that probably points to you having some sort of struggles with anxiety. So in this video, we explore those and ways that you can enable yourself to be the best you can be at dealing with anxiety. So let me tell you something about your brain and your body and how they work together. The parasympathetic nervous system is what scientists call your body's inbuilt ability to self-soothe and to calm. We've learned a lot about it over recent years, and understanding it can be key for you to get a handle on reducing anxiety just by yourself. So here are 4 ways that you can stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's inbuilt calming mechanism. And I've listed these 4 ways here. They're well known and well practiced by therapists, and they come with the names of 4 elements because it's important that you can remember these 4, as when you're anxious and you're feeling anxiety, your thinking brain isn't on its best form. So 4 elements: earth, water, wind and fire, that will help you to stay connected to your body and stay in your calming parasympathetic system at the moment when anxiety hits. The first of the 4 elements is air. We know that breathing is one of the ways you can stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, particularly the out breath. The in breath stimulates the sympathetic nervous system, so it can increase your alertness. But if you make your out breath longer, say if you breathe in for 7 and you breathe out for 11, and really make your breath deep. Try to fill the whole of your lung capacity and then breathe out till it's all gone. You will find that calmness begins to come to you. The second one is water. Actually, swallowing and producing saliva has been linked with your parasympathetic nervous system. So focus in those moments of panic on trying to swallow and produce saliva in your mouth. Number 3 is earth. Stay grounded in the present moment. So when you're feeling anxious, put your feet flat on the floor and notice the firmness of the ground beneath you through your shoes. Or if you're sitting on a chair, notice the firmness of the chair underneath your legs and your bottom. Feel yourself taking up space in the earth and notice the present moment. Anxiety tends to send you orbiting in outer space, and this is the time to bring yourself back down to earth and really experience through your senses that you are a human being living on planet Earth, and this moment is now. And then the last one is my favourite tool. It's the fire tool, which is any way you have to fire your mind and imagination. So my mum taught me to count sheep. It could be that you think of all the numbers between 0 and 300. It might be that you imagine a favourite holiday you've been on, or you imagine yourself having tea with your gran. It doesn't matter what it is, but get your mind focused on something other than the anxiety it's feeling. Fire up your imagination and get that brain whirring. It will reduce the feelings of overwhelming anxiety and give you a chance to have rational thought and use your frontal lobe to connect with yourself and bring stability to your anxiety. With these 4 tools, acting a little bit like an ejector seat from the anxiety rocket, you'll find anxiety begins to dissipate. And if you get practiced at using them like I am, you can automatically flick into deep breathing or firing up your imagination when you feel those familiar sensations of anxiety, often in your chest. So let's talk about what anxiety is and where it comes from. I know in my experience that anxiety sometimes can feel like it takes over out of nowhere. These experiences can be called anxiety attacks, where all of a sudden something in your thinking, your feeling and experience you've had triggers massive waves of anxiety that take you out. Or sometimes you can wake in the morning with a gnawing feeling of anxiety that lasts all day. Or sometimes gradually anxiety grows inside of you until you've really lost the sense of anything else. It can become very overwhelming and debilitating. With all these experiences, it can feel like the emotions are disconnected from life and we are powerless over them. Neither of these things are true, actually. While our emotions don't have an automatic off switch, we can't just turn them off. If we become practiced at calming techniques, we can get a handle on our emotions and moderate them so that we can live really well. A medication obviously can treat the symptoms of anxiety and allow us to deal with the root causes. Because it's not true that anxiety just fires randomly. It is not disconnected from your life. It will have been triggered by a thought, a feeling or an experience, however slight and unable to be detected by you. And the work of healing from our experiences is directly connected to the symptoms of anxiety in our lives. The techniques that I teach you on this video are great self-help tools, but there's nothing to replace the experience of a trained professional therapist in understanding your anxiety triggers, symptoms and the causes, and helping you work through those and come out the other side of your anxiety experience. So once you have got yourself to a place of calm, there are 2 go-to self-help techniques that I'm going to share with you that at home, on your own or wherever you are, you can incorporate into your lifestyle so that you can really improve your chances of ridding yourself of anxiety forever. The first one is journaling. Journaling is not a new idea, we've been doing it for centuries, but its cathartic effects have been well documented by scientists. It's known to be a powerful tool. And I find as a coach that when my clients combine journaling with other therapeutic practices, they make real progress. The tip with journaling is to really own the process. You can journal at any time of day you like. You can have a regular habit of journaling, or you can just journal when you really, really need to, when you've got a build-up of emotions or you need some release. You can journal on your phone, in a notebook. You might want to write some things on a document on your computer. You can even doodle or take annotated photographs. It doesn't matter. Make journaling your own. Really own the process so that it works for you. The more meaningful it is for you, the more helpful it will be. So that's the first part. To enter regularly entries into your journal. Note down what you think, what you feel, and what's been happening. These are 5 questions that you can use every time you go to your journal to help you express yourself. And the second part of this self-help tool is that you should conduct a journal review. You need at least 5 entries in your journal to do this, and reading back over them and looking for patterns and themes is the next way to enhance your self-awareness and understand your anxiety and how to treat it. So I've got 5 more questions that you could use for a journal review. Depending on what comes up from your journal review would determine what kind of inner work you decide to do on yourself in your own time. Some of my other videos feature tools like visualization and verbal affirmations, which are really useful in working on the themes and patterns that are emerging from your self-awareness journaling work. So do those, look at the journal, review its contents, make notes. And the second part is self-care. Now, when you were a baby, if you were anxious, you cried, and anyone around you who was a self-respecting adult would go to a crying baby, pick them up, and automatically soothe them. We do this by cuddling, holding the baby tight but not too tight, rocking the baby or maybe bouncing the baby up and down, and making soothing, cooing noises. We don't really have to think about this as adults. It's quite instinctive for us to soothe a fretful baby. And the same combination of stimulus that goes on with that baby that calms them down and stops them crying is the same kind of combination that we need as an adult for effective self-care. Self-care to adults is what cuddles are to babies, and we really need them. So my second self-help go-to tool in overcoming anxiety is really look at your self-care. What are you doing that looks after you? What are you doing that's self-soothing? How much of a priority is caring for yourself in your everyday and your every week? Here are some suggestions that you may not have thought about before, depending on your temperament and your wiring, might be really powerful soothing mechanisms for you that you could invest your time and energy into. Think about the 5 senses. So what do you listen to that's soothing? Maybe that you like a particular type of music. Music with beats that are more than 70 beats per minute is known to be therapeutic and stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system. What do you like to smell? Have you got lotions, or invest in some beauty products that smell beautiful and can stimulate your sense of smell? How about what you see? A lovely book, a beautiful picture. Go somewhere fantastic and look at a great view. Think about what you feel and what you touch. This could be clothes that you particularly like, a comfy rug, obviously cuddles from your loved ones, or even a roaring fire can soothe you and melt away anxiety. Or maybe think about who it is that you're around that really helps you feel grounded, centered, and cared for. Repeat experiences that have been successful for you in the past in bringing your anxiety down and giving you a sense of your own value, importance, and self-worth. Don't be afraid to spend time, money, and energy on caring for yourself. You are the best thing you have. If you know you're going to struggle to stick to a self-care routine, maybe get your diary into overdrive and put things in to remind you to do them. Or have a friend keep you accountable and ask you questions. How is your self-care going? Have you stuck to journaling? How's your anxiety doing? This can be really helpful in triggering our memory to keep caring for ourselves and doing the hard work to be in the optimal place we can with our emotions. So don't forget, your parasympathetic nervous system is your body's inbuilt calming mechanism. Know how it works and use it. Establish a practice of journaling so you grow in self-awareness. And the fastest way to soothing is having self-care in your life. Have fun with it, but above all, make it meaningful. So let me know how you get on with your anxiety busting routines. I love hearing stories from viewers about the ways that they have tackled their own mental emotional health and found peace and inner well-being. Subscribe to my channel and like my pages.